Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. 7 a.m. Welcome to our meeting this morning. Our inspiration this morning will be led by Darcy Colby. Welcome up, Darcy.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters and if there are any guests. This has always been a favorite of mine. Watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Darcy. And we'll stand up for our pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everybody. It's good to see you all and everybody on Zoom. Are there any announcements from the floor? All right. First off, I want to say congratulations to Maggie and Dave for a outstanding performance this past weekend at the Division A contest. So, give a round of applause. You got the participation trophy. But all in all, it was a very well-run contest, and it was fun to watch Dave and Maggie grow more into the contest. But it was good to watch. Morning, Tracy. And with that, I would like to invite up our Toastmaster today. Thank you to Jackie Kenny for stepping up. Thank you, Jackie. Come on up. You're welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Toasty people. My toasty people. All right. Let's get this show on the road. Phil Russell is our quote master and he has to leave early for an appointment. So I believe he is on Zoom and he can give us his quote this morning. Phil, take it away.
Good morning. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect. Okay. I have a little quote. The most basic and powerful way to connect to another person is to listen.
Mm.
It's by that famous author, Unknown.
All right. Thank you, Phil.
Toastmaster.
And of course, we have some more jobs to introduce. Nancy Ferry is down here as the word master, so let's see if Nancy has a word of the day. Nancy.
Nancy does. The word this morning is interdependence. It's a noun. And it reminds us that two or more entities rely on each other, where the actions and the well-being of each affect one another. So that's what Toastmasters is all about, is being interdependent. When we support our meeting and we show up for our jobs and we show up for stepping in for jobs, and when we go to contests and support Toastmasters as a whole, we're being interdependent. I'll leave the word up here. Use any form of it.
Thank you. And since my theme is connections, interdependence is a very good word to use along with that. It's part of what we do here. We connect with one another in a lot of different ways, not just here at our meetings, but outside Toastmasters, and thinking about each other, seeing something that reminds us of someone in the club and we want to share it with them. Maybe it's a book or a movie that we saw and we'd like to tell everybody else about it and let them in on the secret. So interdependence is an excellent word. Thank you, Nancy. Now, no one signed up to be the master or the grammarian. So if no one makes up their mind to volunteer in the next few minutes, there will be a draft. Mary is our jester today. Mary, come on up and give us something to chuckle about this morning.
So, I use the internet because I'm feeling connected. And is your name Wi-Fi because I'm feeling a connection? That's it.
The idea. All right, thank you, Mary. And we have a timer, Mike Licata, who must be online. Michael, do you want to tell us about your job?
Yes. Good morning, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and if we have any guests this morning. My job as timer is to keep the time for our speakers this morning. Our table topics is usually, not usually. Our table topics is 1.5 to 2 minutes with a 15-second buffer. Speeches are usually 5 to 7. And our evaluations are also always 2 to 3 minutes within the speeches and the evaluations have 30-second buffers. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
All right, thank you, Michael. Master, just master. So we still need a grammarian? Okay, then come on up and tell us about it. And then we'll hear from our quiz master after that. We volunteered.
There you go. I've been volunteered. Thank you. Drafted. Hopefully they never bring that back. We'll see what happens. So I thought we were going to split it, the WAG, but that's okay. We can pull it back together for today. We know how to adjust. We're inter each other and to do that, we need to be flexible. So as master, I will be counting your ahs, ums, pregnant pauses, stutters, kind of whatever. And then grammarian, well, I think you're pretty much off the hook today. I don't know. I'll do what I can. I'll listen to what I like and maybe what seems a little strange, but you'll be fine. Madam Toastmaster.
And Carol, come on and tell us about your quizmaster role.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As quizmaster, I'll be listening carefully to all the speeches and everything in general, so that at the end, I will have compiled some questions that you'll be expected to answer if you've been listening well. Okay.
I'm sure she'll have lots of notes for us at the end. And now we need a toast. Good morning, everyone. Hopefully you didn't wash away in the storm last night. It was crazy at my house. Huge thunder and lightning, but here we are, safe and sound. And now we'll have table topics. A little extemporaneous speaking led by David Jones, who I'm sure has some tricky questions for us. David.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, and good morning, fellow Toastmasters. And hopefully your expectations aren't too high for me. I've been taking some notes on what connection is. And today with table topics, there is an interdependence between myself and those of you whom I'll call upon to do a table topics and try to remember to use the word of the day, interdependent or interdependence. That word's way too big for Thursday morning. And try to make it to the green, 1.5 minutes. And after you see the red, try to wrap it up. So my first question, I'm looking out in the audience. I think Jill does not have a role. Jill, are you available? Looks that way because here she comes. Dun, 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 dun. It's Indiana Jones. Good morning, Jill.
Okay. I'm ready.
All right. Who is your oldest, meaning longest term, oldest connection or friend that you're still friends with? And tell us about that person.
Hmm. That's a tough one. I think right now I'm gonna, because it comes right to my mind, I'm gonna say Steve is my longest term friend. We met when I was 12. He was working at a pig farm. I was riding the horse pony, stubborn little thing that he was, on the said farm. And I was told, this is Steve Smith. He works for me. If you need anything, ask him. My mind was on horses at that point in my life. So that's as far as that went. But at this point, I think we have an interdependent role between the two of us. Hopefully it's not so dependent that we can't survive without one another, but we do spend most of our waking hours together. He takes me to my many doctor appointments, which isn't really necessary, but I do appreciate. We share the bills. We share the chores around the house and mostly outside the house because the inside of the house just doesn't get done. If anybody's ever seen these gardening signs, you know, the garden looks wonderful, but don't look at the inside of the house. Well, that's us. And it's just one of those roles that I hope we stay together for the rest of our lives. That is our plan at the moment. Although we do have to do some things legally at some point here to straighten some things out. So that is my interdependent role that I am coming up with right now. So thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Toastmaster Jill, appreciate it. I think behind the scenes we have Lynn. I think I saw him walking around. I don't think he has a role. Are you available, Lynn?
I have to remember to stay off camera.
And duck down when you're playing with the microphone there. All right. Has there been a time you had to let go of some of your friends or connections because they were not good for you? Now, if they're in the room right now, you don't have to talk about that subject, but if there's somebody else, then that's fine.
Mr. Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters. Yes, I think it's inevitable in most of our lives. We have friends that we kind of grew up with, but you fade away. Either geographical distance comes between you, or sometimes, to be quite frank, they just become jerks, you know? Their trajectory and the maturity level kind of plateaus and even goes down. And it's too much mental baggage to just be around them and to spend time with them. And we also gain new friends, and there's only so much capacity. There's been a study made. The average person can support about 150 people, you know, friends and family in their life. That's about our capacity socially. And beyond that, it takes a toll on us. And they've found this, even like villages would split off after they reached that magic number. I forget what the number is called. But a couple examples I'll give of people that are no longer in my life. Some I've had some work colleagues that I kept in touch with. Others, the only real reason I knew them or hung out with them at all is because we had that common bond there, the employer. That was the interdependency there. You had something to talk about. Some people have gone off the deep end with their politics or their religion or just their morals, their ethics. They kind of strayed away from mine. Not saying that's good or bad. It just wasn't consistent. So yeah, I think that's a part of the normal process of life. Friends come and friends go. And probably I'm at the steady state now, and I'm going to leave this world with the ones I have. Back to you, Mr. Topic Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lynn. And finally, Eric, I think you don't have a role. I see you sitting down there in the corner. Saw you gnawing on some breakfast, but I think you're done. You're always on camera. Saw you gnawing on your orange juice bottle, trying to open it up. We see everything, or somebody sees everything. Good morning.
I gotta stay off camera too.
Exactly. All right, Eric, and don't forget to try to use the word of the day. Which connection or friend was most impactful in your personal growth?
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters. The one person who, can you repeat that again?
Who was most impactful in your personal growth to become who you are now? Yeah.
I would say the most impactful person to me, actually, there's a few people, but I'm going to stick with a couple. First off, my parents. I really have a interdependent connection with my parents because with everything that I have gone through in my life, I count on them to help me grow into the person I become today. Because they want what's best for me. They want to know that I'm going to be well taken care of in my teenage years and through adulthood, which they still do today. Because I still go over to the house every Sunday night and cook them dinner. Not cook dinner. My mom cooks the dinner. I gotta stop myself because I don't cook. She cooks. This Sunday, I'll be back over again. We're gonna have spaghetti. She makes her homemade sauce. She does all the cooking, and we just wait at the table and it's like, here you go. Another impactful person also too, especially here, is all of you here, Toastmaster family, because when I started Toastmasters in 2016, all of you helped me grow more as a speaker. Because I think you guys remember when I started my icebreaker, I was like this. And even Nancy remembers that because we talked about it a couple weeks ago at breakfast. And look how I become now, thanks to all of you who had made me grow more as a speaker. So thank you very much, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Mr. President. And give Mike one moment so we can get a timer's report. See, he's still writing.
I am all set, Mr. Table Topics Master. Thank you for calling on me this morning. All three speakers qualified with the buffer: Jill at 2:13, Len at 2 minutes and 2 seconds, and Eric at 2 minutes and 4 seconds. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Mr. Timer. And can we get a word master report on how they did with the word?
Well, I am happy to say that Jill used it twice, Len used it once, and Eric used it once. So they qualify in that department.
Yay. All right. We can all vote on our favorite table topics person, and I will relinquish control. Back to our Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Table Topics. Those were excellent questions. And thinking about the friendships we've had over the years, that's such an amazing part of our lives and really a treasure for everyone. I know I have friends from elementary school that I still see and spend time with, and they're just very important people to me. So are all of you. I think the connections that we make through Toastmasters are just unbelievable sometimes, how strong they can become and the things that we can learn from each other and share with each other. It's really quite a gift that we're very fortunate. Okay, we have some excellent speeches coming up this morning. I'm especially tickled to see that Marshall jumped in and volunteered to do a speech as well. Our first speaker is going to be Maggie, and her evaluator is Beth Banks. So Beth, please come up and tell us a little bit about Maggie's project this morning.
Thank you, fellow Toastmasters. I have it down for you. Oh, you already have your okay. We should evaluate each other all the time so we don't have to be moving the mic so much. I think that would be wise. Yes, yes. Maggie is working out of the presentation mastery pathway, evaluation, and feedback. She would be This is actually part one of a part 3 job, 2 speeches and an evaluation. So this should be interesting. Her time is 5 to 7 minutes timer. And her project title is Exactly. Maggie Craig, exactly.
Thank you. Just a moment to get set up. Ah, there it goes. Okay, perfect. Would help if I brought my speech. Okay. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. I'm going to make sure I speak into my mic this morning. I am glad that you came this morning because you're going to get a treat. If you see on the table, you'll see that I put the recipes that I used. I used the lemon loaf recipe. There's a simple loaf that's plain and then the lemon loaf that's on the back. I'm sure if you are the person that does the grocery shopping in your house, that you know that the price of eggs has gone through the roof. In February, the average cost for a dozen grade A large eggs in the United States was $5.90. So let's just say that it's 50 cents an egg as our baseline. This week, 200,000 pounds of egg products were recalled. So there's another loss of egg product. And the avian influenza continues. We've lost over 30 million, yes, 30 million egg-laying hens in 2025 alone. So let's talk about what would we do if we didn't have eggs or we couldn't afford eggs. And what we can do is use egg substitutes. And this morning, I'm going to let you taste what these egg substitutes might look like or taste like. Or both, look and taste. So we have our baseline. This loaf was made with an egg. And hopefully, we have a knife, it will come out. This loaf is made with an egg. And it gives us that moist, fluffy texture that we're used to when we have a baked product. It has a neutral flavor, so it's not adding anything to the flavor of the loaf. And I made some samples. Maybe you can just pass these around. And that will be our baseline. Eggs have protein, omega-3s. They are, as we know, expensive. But in the past, they've been pretty reasonable to put in our cooking as a binding agent. Binding agents are interdependent with leavening agents. And in this case, we've used baking powder and baking soda. So what else could we use? You could use half a banana instead of an egg. What would a banana do? Well, it gives you potassium. So nutrition-wise, you have a slight difference from the egg. The loaf, you'll see, is moister, stickier, denser, and it tastes like banana. So it's adding a flavor that you don't get with an egg. A banana costs about 60 cents. Half a banana is an egg, so it's about 30 cents. So you've saved a little bit of money by today's standards. This loaf was made with chia seeds. 1 tablespoon of chia seeds, 3 tablespoons of water will give you a gelatinous mixture that is the equivalent of 1 egg. Chia seeds add a nice nutty flavor, but nutritionally they are packed. They have micronutrients, fiber, protein. It's like a perfect food, a chia seed. So I will pass around some with chia and some with banana. So the black box is the banana, B black, B banana, and you'll see the little chia seeds floating around. If you don't want to see the chia seeds, you can grind them and it will give you that smoother texture that you're used to with an egg. So I also used applesauce. Applesauce works out to about 25 cents per egg alternative. So pretty reasonable. Beautiful loaf. Beautiful loaf. Moist, tender, has a little bit of apple flavor to it, obviously. And A is for apple, J is for Jack. Cinnamon toasted apple jacks. Remember that? There you go. So we have our apple. Apple has vitamin C. So we're getting a little bit of, vitamins with it. It does add a flavor. And as I said, it's 25 cents. This is made with aquafaba. Anybody know what aquafaba is? Aquafaba, I learned about aquafaba from the Great British Bake Off, one of my favorite shows. Aquafaba is chickpea water. And if you use the chickpeas, aquafaba is free. Doesn't cost you a thing. If you put aquafaba in a cup, use your immersion blender, it will turn into a substance that looks like whipped egg whites. It most closely mimics eggs in terms of the texture of the product, the end product. And it does not add any flavor. However, it also does not add any nutrients. It's magic water. It doesn't have fiber. It doesn't have protein. It's just magic water that mimics eggs. So we have, just want to make sure, yes. We have our eggs. And to recap, well-balanced in taste and texture. This is what we're used to, but it's a little expensive. We've been chia seeds, they're healthy, slightly chewy, has a nuttier flavor. They work out to about 40 cents per egg alternative. So they're not that much cheaper than eggs, really. But it's a good alternative and it gives you a lot of nutrients. And if you're a vegan or a vegetarian or you have, my granddaughter has an egg allergy, great choice, absolutely great choice. Applesauce, moist, light, pretty reasonably priced, 25 cents an egg. That's pretty good. Banana, similar, 30 cents. Adds a very strong flavor, so you will have to like the flavor of banana, and it's very sweet. So I hope that you enjoyed this experiment and that you go on to use some of these alternatives. Thank you. No.
Nothing like a little extra breakfast in the morning. Our next speaker, oh, and if you need a recipe for the chickpeas in order to use the aquafaba, I have a really good chickpea stew recipe. All right, our next speaker is going to be Marty Johnston. Marty is being evaluated by David Licata, who is coming up to give us a little bit of information.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and this is the open house and we're supposed to have some guests. So I just wanted to scold everybody a little bit, especially myself. In the tradition of our dear friend, Willie Daniels, Marty has given me tons of information here, everything he could find. And then he gave me another sheet. But I understand that my evaluation is going to be interdependent with the last time he was evaluated by Mike Florio. But today, this is a pathways presentation. Presentation mastery. And I have to worry about evaluation and feedback. The time is 5 to 7 minutes. I'm going to give the title now. Mentoring an AM Lockport Opportunity. Mentoring an AM Lockport Opportunity. The purpose of the speaker is using the prior speech evaluation in order to improve this speech. Here he is. Ah! Now I got to bend over. Somebody call a tow truck. Thank you. It's Marty Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests that might be coming in after the meeting starts, possibly. Who here or on Zoom has heard of mentoring? Who has been a mentor or a mentee? I see quite a few hands. That's wonderful. Mentoring is an interdependent in Toastmasters. We're all dependent on mentoring, in my opinion. This morning, I'm going to present 3 main points on mentoring based on feedback that my evaluator gave me. And the 3 key points are the overview, what mentoring is, tell about the benefits of mentoring, and lastly, how to sign up to be a mentor, because I didn't see all hands go up on Zoom and in person. So that means there is an opportunity for mentoring in AM Lockport. So the first key in mentoring is to understand what mentoring is. Mentoring is where a new member is taken under the wing by a more experienced member, and that more experienced member helps the mentee or protege, if you will, navigate the Pathways education program. And the mentor is an experienced Toastmaster, and they know the ins and outs of the program. They've been there, they've done that, and they've completed projects in different paths. So they know how to set the mentee straight and help them reach their goals. That's important. And that's mentoring. The mentor meets with the mentee or the protege, if you will, at the convenience of both of them. So they're interdependent on each other, if you will. There are many benefits to mentoring, but I just want to talk about a couple because I'm on a mission with mentoring in our club, because we do have a handful of new members and some of them aren't here today. And that worries me a little bit because I think with a little more guidance and mentoring, they might be here today. Think about that. Well, besides learning the fast track, if you will, or learning from the mentor's mistakes, the mentee can gain self-confidence in their communication and leadership skills. They can be helped with a path and selecting their path. But the main thing is to communicate with the mentor so they can help each other reach the goals of the mentee. As far as signing up, which is probably one of the most important things, on our club website, does everyone here and on Zoom have access to the free Toast Hosts, our AM Lockport website? Everyone should have access. There is a tab on the website for mentee, mentor sign up. And it's very, very simple. And I think it's very efficient. And I think we should use it more frequently. But in a nutshell, there are boxes and the mentee or the mentor can sign up. So the mentee can sign up for, yes, I am a new member. I would like a mentor assigned. The mentor can say, yes, I'm available and I would like to be a mentor. And a more experienced Toastmaster can also check in a box. I am a more experienced Toastmaster and I would like to have a mentor to help me with some more specialized speeches perhaps. So there's a lot of opportunity in mentoring in AM Lockport. And my hope is that everyone has the opportunity to be a mentor and to reap the benefits, because I know that not only have I been a mentor in our club, but I also helped mentor Rhetorical Roar Club when they were first starting off. And it was a wonderful experience. And I'm still involved with them today. And I've seen the growth in quite a few of the members that were new when I started. And it's a wonderful to see someone's growth and development and see it through to fruition, 10 years later, 12 years later, and the person's still a member, or they left and they became a professional in their own field. They got a promotion. It's a good feeling to know that you are part of that. Our fellow Toastmasters is Pat Johnson, past international director of Toastmasters International, once said she wouldn't have stayed in Toastmasters if it weren't for the mentoring program that was available. So you don't have to be Pat Johnson to be a mentor. You just have to be someone that's willing to continue with your leadership and communication skills and sign up to be a mentor or sign up to be a mentee. And that's what my hope is today. My hope today is that after the meeting, if anyone has a question on how to sign up or any further questions, I'm available to help with that. Madam Toastmaster of the Day, back to you, Jackie. Thank you, Jackie.
Okay. Now, our next speaker put himself into the schedule all the way from China. I just love that he did that. I don't have any information at all. Not his time, not his title, not what path he's working in. But I did ask Tracy to be his evaluator, and I bet she can figure it out. So Tracy, come on up here and fake this for us.
All right. We're going to be interconnected today. We are going to figure out what Marshall's going to be talking about. He stepped up to the plate at the last minute. So we're, as we said, all interconnected and doing our thing, what we do here at AM Lockport Toastmasters. Marshall's going to give us, Marshall, can you tell me, it will be 5 to 7 minutes?
Sorry, I don't know. I have a speech today. Uh,
Oh.
but no problem. I can give an impromptu speech.
Marshall, we're gonna give you a 5 to 7 minute table topics and you can talk about whatever you want. And I know you're gonna do
Okay.
just fine. Go for it, Marshall.
No problem. My title is Fake Praise is Better Than Direct Insult. It's about the communication style difference between China and American. The last time I met my friends, and when we talk about American, she just visited America, and I asked her how about it. She shot America, everything is become expensive. She didn't want to immigrate to the U.S. As I said, I want because American people is the most friendly people I've ever met in the world. They said they are friendly, maybe fake. They always praise you, maybe not. But I don't think so. I can feel your friendly is real. And the next time I met some friends, they commended my English. They said, Marshall, your English is sucks. It's terrible. I said, that's okay. American people never say that. Even sometimes they couldn't understand, but they always encourage me. Like our AM Lockport Toastmaster Club, they always vote me to the best speaker. Thank you, thank you. They thought your English, my English has a lot of grammatical mistakes and the pronunciation is weird. But after they commanded me, I didn't dare to speak English. So the Chinese people sometimes very strict. I said, you can encourage me because I have learned English for just 3 years. I need encouragement. They said, you are not children. You don't need encouragement. And my father never praised me for the last 30 years. I said, American parents always praise their children, encourage their children. Why you never praise me? They said, that's why millions of American homeless on the street, because their parents not usually curse them, insult them, can't practice their heart, very hard and brave heart. So after they leave their family, when others insult them, they can't stand that. I had learned English more than 20 years in the school, but I couldn't speak English. Most of Chinese English are deaf English and dumb English. After I met an English teacher from Manchester, in the beginning, I talked with him in sign language and several words. I only know about 300 English words, but he encouraged me to express myself. After 6 months of his help, I can use English for simple communication. And then I joined some American clubs, very several very kind Toastmasters. They contact me after meetings. Some they even willing to give me 1 hour per week to talk with me and encourage me and correct my pronunciation. So I've never thought I can speak English even in a very weird way, but I can express myself. But the last 20 years in China, in China, English, this subject is most important. It costs 40% of students' time. But we only learn English for exam. We can't speak that. And our English teacher, when we speak one sentence, they correct one time. This pronunciation is wrong. This grammar is wrong. So Chinese students are very afraid of speaking English. For those two kinds of communication style, I think American way is helpful. I like it, and I really enjoy it. Even I joined the 8 club meetings every week, and I have 5 hours English online class. I almost never miss it. I like to talk with you every time, make me happy. And the Chinese people usually say, because we are a best friend, so I tell you, your English is sucks. But I think, yeah, and my parents say, why the strangers, they don't beat you, only your parents beat you, because we love you. We want you improve. But I'd like Chinese people one day can like American people. When our relation become closer, our love become more, our communication style become more friendly. Thank you. Go back to Toastmaster.
Wow. How's that for a little off cuff? Okay. Thank you, Marshall, for jumping in. And now we will hear from our general evaluator. Oh, yeah, sorry. Thank you for the reminder. The timer needs to give us a report. Michael.
Good morning again, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and our guests this morning. All 3 speakers qualified this morning. Maggie at 7:16 with the buffer, Marty at 5:42, and Marshall with the buffer at 7:14. So all 3 speakers qualified. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Mike. Interdependence is the name of the game today. So I'm going to call up our general evaluator and give him a chance to talk a little bit about our meeting. And if he would like to introduce the evaluators, he can do that. If not, I will take over again. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. I think we should start with our evaluations and get those out of the way. But I wanted to point something out too that I brought today. Does anybody recognize this? Thank you, Eric. Yes, this came from Friendly's Restaurant. They were giving them away when we had our last meeting there. And I thought this was appropriate. Yes, Jill thought it's appropriate. I will give her kudos for that. I'm the one making a big deal out of it. So, okay, let's get on with our evaluations. Our first evaluator is, let's see, Beth, thanks. Evaluating Maggie.
Thank you very much, Steve. Maggie, to begin with, I love the use of the hands-free mic. I don't do it often enough in my speeches. I just forget to do it. So that's really important, especially for what you were doing today. That was very good. That start was just a punch. That was excellent, in my opinion. The intro is always important. Sets the pace for the rest of the speech. You had some really good data, some information about eggs and how much we use and how big of a problem this avian flu and the price of eggs has become. That was very good. Vocal variety, up, down, it was really good. Obviously, props. Anytime anyone brings in food, I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm good with that. You had really good eye contact with the room. I don't know about Zoom so much because I wasn't on Zoom, but very good. Couple of things to work on, suggestions. This speech was better than a couple other speeches you had, but you still have the ums and uhs in there. Definite improvement though. One of the things you can work on too, and we all do this as we progress, using our notes a little bit less at each speech. That would be something. Just because you had food and you had it in loaves, you struggled with that a little bit, and I think it made you a little distracted. I would recommend taking the loaves out before your speech starts, so you're not fighting with the loaves. I understand fighting with the loaves. I don't even think I have those little loaf tins in my house because I would fight with them too much. I loved all the choices. Everything was good. I didn't try the chia seeds because I can't eat seeds right now. Your preparation was obvious. You really had everything set up. I love the little rolling cart, pulling it along and getting rid of the lectern. Did I say that correctly? So that you could have more room to work. Great speech. I really liked it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our second evaluator, evaluating Marty Johnson, is Dave Licata. Oh, Dave.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Gee, okay. Marty. The train stopped, the doors opened, and the conductor, who was Marty, held up both arms and said, "Welcome aboard." And that's how he roped us in. That's how he got the audience going this morning. I thought that was, because I'm always on your case, that was theatrical. Congratulations. So that's some progress, because that's sometimes I mentor him sometimes, whether he wants it or not. So that was really quite the statement to get started. Now, the next time you give this speech, and I know you're going to give it again because of your work above the club level and with other clubs and the district, you're going to do this. Difficulties. Now we have to. Yeah, this got involved. Never mind. Okay, here we go. You would walk up to different members of the audience and you'd say, "Beth, how did you get started? And who was your mentor? And who do you remember mentoring Eric?" And so on and so forth. Bring it to life that way. That's my main evaluation point this morning. So even then, you could have built on this new theatrical Marty that we just found out about. So we'll start working the room. Watch that silly Mel Brooks movie, High Anxiety, where he walks around like Frank Sinatra, singing. So it's not a bad idea. And I want to salute you because you had plenty of information about how to do it. You told us how important mentoring is, and that was a great mention of the past grand poobah of the whole thing, who confessed that she would not have stayed in Toastmasters without a good mentoring. That's a lesson for all of us. And I want to thank you again for recharging our mentoring batteries. Now, everybody get out there, find somebody, drag them in here, and start mentoring them. Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you. Our third evaluator, evaluating Marshall's song, will be Tracy Farrell. So,
Thank you, fellow Toastmasters, and especially Marshall. Marshall, I have to tell you, you are my hero. You came in here, you didn't know you were giving a speech, and you did. 5 to 7 minutes, and it was a good speech. You talked off the cuff, and you were really actually willing to step up at the last minute, like the last second you stood up. Throughout your speech, I can tell you, you talked about the differences between Americans and the Chinese culture. The Americans, we have positive encouragement. Chinese, maybe a more corrective attitude. But I have to tell you, in America, there are very few Chinese speakers. And in China, you came right out and said, a lot of people are learning English. And they might not be the best, but they've made the effort. And that's one of the things that here in America, we're kind of like, we really do need to step up and put more effort into learning more languages. I also have to tell you, I'm going to give you some encouragement. Your English does not suck. I would encourage you to continue that. And there's a limited number of people in the United States who can speak Chinese and English both. That's one of, there's about 4 of them. The only person I know is Paul Hanley from Lockport, and he lived in China for quite a while. However, it is probably the most valuable skill any of us can learn. Marshall, you are like 100% ahead of all of us, because all of those manufacturing companies that want to come to the United States, or we want to be in China, there's a ton of them, and there's a limited workforce that can accomplish that. In the future, I would encourage you to continue that English learning. It's the most valuable thing, and that's why you're my hero, because I would love to learn Chinese, and it's such a different language than English. I would also encourage you in your future speeches, continue on with your English, but give us a speech about the cultural differences between America and China. There's some really interesting differences that we all have to learn. And I think Chinese people are a lot more polite than Americans are. There's still a lot of different intricacies and all of that, but it's fascinating to learn. And I encourage you to keep on going. And it wasn't fake praise either. You know English. Mr. Toastman.
General Evaluator. Sure. Thank you. Now, can we have a timer's report on our evaluators?
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Good morning again, fellow Toastmasters and our guests this morning. All 3 of our evaluators qualified this morning. Beth came in at 244, Dave came in at 242, and Tracy came in at 254. So all 3 of our evaluators qualified. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Well, thank you. Now you can vote for your favorite evaluator while I prattle on up here about what I was doing today, watching the meeting. We got off to a good start. We had a few holes to plug, and she did that, even though it wasn't all her fault, because the schedule didn't come out till the middle of the week, and we're kind of, well, who's doing what? You know, and she handled that with great aplomb, I thought. And we got through this, filled the roles. But you did make one mistake. You didn't introduce the general evaluator in the beginning. Good save. So our three evaluators did an excellent job. Very solid, positive evaluations. And they were not whitewash, as we call it in America. They praised the speaker. They gave solid ways in which the speaker could improve what they were doing. All three of them did. I thought they did an excellent job. This is what we're all about, encouraging our fellow Toastmasters to improve what you're doing and to keep doing it. I do have something to say to Eric. You were talking about your icebreaker speech and how terrifying that was. If all of us are being honest, all of us were doing a white knuckle flight on our icebreakers. I sure was. So take encouragement from that. We all started down, and so it can happen. But overall, the meeting went well. It was a great thing. The whole meeting was positive. So I don't have too much to say about that. You want me to go ahead and call reports, or you? As long as I'm up here. Okay. Well, let's start with our quizmaster. Carol, are you ready?
Question. At what age did Jill meet Steve? Okay. What is the number of family and friends that, okay. What did Eric have for Sunday dinner? And how many eggs were lost, with, right? Well, we lost 30 million something here. Okay. Maggie's original bread there was made with an egg. What were the other four? Very good. And the couple that I tasted were very good. What was another word for mentor that Marty used? Right. And I guess you did pretty well. I wanted to quickly mention the interdependence that went on at our home the last 3 weeks. My husband had a knee replacement, and he's still sleeping in the recliner downstairs. And the first few days, my daughter, who lives with us, slept downstairs so that she could hear him when he had to go to the bathroom, when he needed a pain pill. And she's since been able to move upstairs because she ordered a little button in case he needed something, because he's able to get up on his own now. So, but it's been fun.
Got to do this right. Now, next we'll call up our combined Master and Grammarian, Mike Florio.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Toastmasters. I take this job very seriously. You can see. I put out I have a little spreadsheet. Each line is interdependent on the other. And I listened very intently. Now, our ahs and ums, we're doing okay. I mean, some people came up here at nothing, and I was listening. I was looking for every little twitch in the eye, every little nose hair. which I was intent. Carol Ann had a couple ahs and Jill had an ah. Eric, you did fine. Let's see, Jill, David Jones, fine. Jackie was up here quite a while. Nothing, 0. Maggie, you had a few odds and ends, and Beth brought that up, but the apple is just awesome. I don't care. You can on them all day up here. You keep feeding me that stuff and you're just fine. But you can work on it a little bit. It did improve. Last time I think it was last week I heard you and your ums were kind of charged. You're a little over 5 now, but you're getting there. You're getting there. You're getting there. You'll catch yourself all the time. Marty had a few ahs. The gunnas, you have to work on, and I think a lot of people here have to kind of work on the gunnas. That was one of the things, the grammarian, that we kind of have that little southern draw, or no, western, midwestern kind of thing. You know, but that's okay. We're fine there. Marshall, yeah, I'll tell you what, but no, you were fine. I'm telling you, it's someone who has only spoke English for 3 years. You had 3 ahs and ums, and you spoke off the cuff. So I can't even, that's awesome. It really is. I mean, your English compared to my Chinese, which is about 0, I think you're just fine, Marshall. You're doing very well. I can't imagine how well you will speak English in another 3 years, really, at the rate you're going, and with the encouragement of your friends here at Toastmasters. Mike Licata, none. Steve, none. Dave Licata, of course. I think he had 3 and 1 there. There was a little pause. Not a big deal. As grammarian, the good I liked were, I hear things like Len. Len has a million of them, right? Friend capacity of 150. Who says that? I think I have about a friend capacity of 150. And then I like how he downplayed his years as his ethics went astray. I like that one too. They went a little astray. And Dave, I'm a Stones fan, so when you said Grand Poobah, I'm a big Stone fan, Mick and the boys, but also Fred and Barney. Eric, you might want to work on, I think it's especially instead of especially, I believe, right? I mean, that was just one that I caught. Is that right? Yeah, I work on the gunnas, and I think Marshall came up with the most friendliest people in the world. I'm going, okay, there might be a couple other countries thrown in there, Marshall, but we really appreciate it. And we also appreciate when we hear you speak, especially a speech like you did today. I feel a little better about the world in general, that there are people like you on the other side of the world that are a lot like us and just as friendly and just as nice. Mr. General Evaluator.
Wow. Don't usually have to pull it down. Okay, now finally, we need to hear from our word master, Nancy. How did we do today?
Thank you. I don't feel like much of a master today. Interdependence did well. I heard it 11 times. And then also the 3 times for table topics. And I heard interconnected twice. So we'll take that too. Good job. Use the word today.
Thank you. Now, I guess Eric can come back up, close it. Jackie, somebody come up here, close the meeting out, and I'll get out of here.
All right, thank you very much. All right, Jackie, would you like to announce our winners?
I would love to. Yeah. Our table topics winner is Len. Let's find a ribbon. Oh, okay. Well deserved.
Thank you. A quick aside, I sent everybody an email. It's called Dunbar's Number. I sent you the Wikipedia link for it. That's how many people you can maintain social relationships with. Thank you.
All right. Our best evaluator this morning is Tracy. Oh, no? Okay. Okay. Will do. And I think we'll be saving this last one as well because our best speaker is Marshall. I don't know what the postage would be to send it to him, but maybe we could do that
Maybe we
sometime.
can get the dress on,
Yeah, yeah, all right.
Tracy, would you like to pick the winner for 50/50? 50/50?
I'll go get the ticket.
All right, all because you're the best evaluator, Marshall.
Marshall, I get the honor of stepping up for you.
Okay, guys, who in here thinks that the 50/50 costs more than $1? Because we did it again. We're ahead again. $10, 8 tickets. You did not have me for a math teacher, except for Joe, and I know he did it correctly.
And today's winner is last 4 digits, 2884. And it's Mark Campos. Speaking to the mic, speaking to the mic.
I just told Mark it was worth it to come in. I do have an announcement. I think I have most of the money for everyone for dues for this term, but it was due on the 31st. So if anyone has not paid, please make sure that I get a check or you pay through PayPal or just cash, something to make sure that you're paid up. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Beth. Before I adjourn the meeting, I would like everybody to raise a glass. This past Tuesday, we celebrating 41 years as a Toastmasters Club. So cheers to us, Toastmasters, for making it to 41 years. So happy anniversary. Stick around for Dave's Memories right after I adjourn the meeting. Have a good weekend.